Drop the receipts like most controversies nowadays. It began with a leak. Screenshots of financial records were anonymously uploaded to a Sister Wives subreddit that was expanding on a calm Wednesday night. Fans typically ignore posts like this as speculative or photoshopped. However, these were not like the others. The most damaging of the documents was a notarized mortgage agreement connected to Robyn Brown's Flagstaff mansion, along with tax returns and wire transfer information. They all pointed to a shocking reality. Neither Robyn nor Kody had paid for the mansion on their own. Actually, a TLC distribution fund connected to an LLC formed in each of the wives' names had provided the original down payment, which totaled more than $150,000. However, in 2018, the LLC was discreetly moved to Robyn's exclusive ownership. The other members of the family were unaware of its existence. Janelle finds out Janelle was browsing social media at her small rental house when she came on the thread while seated at her kitchen table. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. She initially believed it to be online drama. The watermark on the leaked documents, however, caught her attention. It was the same account her accountant used to prepare TLC revenue disbursements. Her heart fell. "Is this real?" she asked Gabe via text. He called her a few minutes later. "It's true, Mom. I looked through the LLC registry. The listed address? It's Robyn's house in Flagstaff. Since 2018, she has been utilizing that account." After setting the phone aside, Janelle sat in startled silence. The trailer. The difficulties with money. Kody's constant justifications for why Coyote Pass had not been affected, and the money was always in Robyn's possession. Mary snaps Janelle met Mary at her Airbnb later that day. Janelle's voice was tense as she stated, "Mary, she used our TLC earnings. When you were working at the B&B and barely making ends meet. I was living in a trailer at the time. She purchased that fucking mansion and put all of her money into her LLC." Mary's face went white. She covered her mouth and fell into the couch. Kody consistently stood up for her in all of those meetings. "I trusted him when he claimed that she was the only one being responsible." Janelle got to her feet. "We were misled. Taken from. Manipulated." Through the window, Mary gazed. She tightened her jaw. "We should stop shielding her." Robyn's deceptive protection. The tone of the interview instantly altered when Robyn was challenged by TLC producers during a planned confessional shoot. The materials were handed across the table by a producer. "Robyn, could you explain this to us? It appears that the down payment for your house was taken from a TLC fund that the family had previously contributed to." Perplexed, Robyn blinked. Then teary. Then defensive. "We are a single family," she muttered. "We all benefited from that money." The producer pressed. "However, the LLC was only registered in your name. Janelle and Mary didn't know." I didn't want to start a fight." Robyn sobbed. "I believed it would be safer if Kody and I simply handled everything on our own. What the others would do with the money was unknown to us. Our goal was to safeguard the family's future." The crew was quiet behind the camera. Robyn was at the height of her delusion. Kody's failure later, as he was reeling from the altercation, Kody was captured on camera strolling by himself in a Flagstaff park. He murmured, "She didn't tell me. She informed me that my emergency fund provided the funds." He gave a headshake. "She always claimed to keep everything organized, so I trusted her without question." Kody paused his stroll and gazed at the mountains. "Regarding money, I screamed at Janelle. I called Mary toxic for constantly bringing up Robyn. Additionally, Robyn was concealing the truth the entire time." He took his phone out. His hands shook. "I should consult a lawyer." The fallout in public. The internet took off. Every social media site, including YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, and TikTok, was inundated with analyses of the controversy. After analyzing each document and following every financial paper trail, fans discovered even more links. Robyn had been discreetly listed as the only beneficiary of several TLC residual accounts that were pooled. The same month Robyn's mortgage was approved, Coyote Pass payments were stopped. According to emails, she asked TLC to transfer her profits directly, avoiding the family trust. TLC released a succinct statement. "We are looking into the shows and the Brown family's internal financial structures. Filming has been halted at this moment. In the meantime, Meri and Janelle collaborated to create a potent Instagram video. "We want our followers to know that the rumors are true," said Janelle initially. "We trusted our family," Meri continued. However, that confidence was violated, and we're holding them responsible now. Robyn's isolation. Robyn was in a downward spiral within her once celebrated mansion. She pulled all the drapes. She turned off her phone. Kody had also stopped improving. Robyn sobbed as she left her mother a heartfelt voicemail. "They despise me. Everyone. Kody even treats me as though I'm a complete stranger." The fact that the illusion was ended, however, was what hurt her the most. No more stories about favorite wives. The ideal family image is gone. The weight of being discovered, and the unvarnished, harsh reality. News teams set up camp on the street outside. Robyn muttered to herself inside, "I only wanted to keep what we had safe." She had nothing left to defend, though. 3 weeks later, Flagstaff, the sterility and coldness of the place made it feel like a federal courthouse, even though it was only a municipal mediation office in Flagstaff. With her mouth tight and her gaze fixed on the future, Meri sat rigidly. Janelle was beside her, categorized and underlined an angry folder of contracts and receipts. Robyn appeared to be in ruins across from them. Her hair was half-pinned and knotted, and her complexion was blotchy, as though she had just gotten out the door. And next to her was Kody Brown, quiet, pale, and edging away from her minute by minute. The mediator cleared his throat. "I want to make it clear that this is a formal pre-litigation mediation process before we start. If a settlement cannot be achieved, all of the remarks made here could be taken into account in court." Janelle didn't hold back. She moved the pile of papers to the middle. "That is the documentation that shows Robyn transferred more than $180,000 of our total TLC funds to her LLC in 2018 and 2019, she stated bluntly. "And the LLC is in her name only," Meri said. "We weren't informed. They made us feel as though we had nothing. That, like us, she and Kody were having difficulties." Robyn's tone faltered. "Stealing was never the intention. I simply believed that I was acting in the greatest possible way. If I explained the strategy to you two, I doubted you would comprehend. Make a plan?" Janelle let out a bark. "What strategy? While you have a 4,300 square foot home with beautiful furnishings, you've left us in trailers and broken marriages." Robyn was about to reply when Kody abruptly raised a hand. "Cease." Everyone pivoted. He gave Robyn his whole attention. "Simply stop." The turning point for Kody. Kody refrained from jumping to Robyn's defense for the first time during the entire affair. "What kept you from telling me?" His voice was shaking as he asked. "You mentioned that it originated from my reserves." Robyn's gaze expanded. "Kody, you tricked me," he shouted, raising his voice. "You gave me the impression that Meri and Janelle were careless with their money. You persuaded me that the family was being drained. You yelled at me for asking why there wasn't money for Coyote Pass," Meri muttered. "You claimed that I was self-centered." Kody cast a shamed glance down. Janelle bent over. "Kody, we're not here to apologize. Justice is the reason we are here." Carefully, the mediator interjected. "What kind of compensation are you looking for?" Meri didn't think twice. "We want the return of any funds from joint family accounts that were used to purchase the residence, in addition to legal fees, in addition to emotional harm. And we want Robyn's LLC dissolved," Janelle continued. "For the past 10 years, with complete financial transparency." Robyn discusses. Robyn groped for a Kleenex, her hands shaking. "I believed I was defending our family," she cried. "You don't realize how difficult it was. I was afraid that the show would cancel us and leave us without a house." Meri spoke in a chilly tone. "Everything was already yours." "Robyn, we didn't need a mansion," Janelle said. "Honesty was what we needed. And you were dishonest with us." Kody scratched his face, got up, and went to the window. He muttered, "I don't know who you are anymore." He faced the mediator once more. "I'm assisting them with their claims. If testimony is required, then so be it." Robyn let out a loud gasp. She wailed, "You promised that you would never abandon me." Kody had a blank look on his face. "The instant you decided that you were the only wife who mattered, you left me." The intervention of TLC executives, meanwhile, had arrived in town in silence. The network had been inundated with public outrage in the days after the receipt controversy. Globally popular hashtags included #RobynTheThief and #JusticeForJanelle. During a confidential conference with the lawyers for Janelle and Mary, a TLC attorney made it apparent. "We will back a spin-off series that centers on Janelle and Mary's lives after Brown if a settlement can be achieved out of court. We want the truth to be spoken, but not at the expense of the brand." Mary folded her arms. "A tragic series is not why we are here. Our goal is to recover what is rightfully ours." The offer, however, stayed with her. The deadline for the settlement, Robyn was given 72 hours by the mediator to reply to the demand letter. With her sunglasses down, she walked out of the office in a trance, accompanied by Kody, who was now 3 steps behind her. Outside, reporters were waiting. The flashbulbs clicked. Robyn remained silent. However, Kody did. "To the fans, you were right," he remarked glumly. In the meanwhile, there are court records in Arizona. According to court documents, Mary and Janelle had formally filed a civil lawsuit against Robyn Brown 1 week later for deceptive and fraudulent representation, fiduciary duty breach, using shared earnings without permission, purposeful infliction of psychological distress. The date of the court was set. The judge expedited the process of discovery. Additionally, in a move that shocked the fan base, Christine submitted an affidavit on Janelle and Mary's behalf. She wrote in it, "I departed before the financial gains worsened. However, I always had a sneaking suspicion that Robyn and Kody were concealing more than just partiality. On our backs, they were establishing an empire." Ending the shattering officially, the Brown family was split up for good. Robyn faced increasing legal pressure, social exclusion, and public humiliation. Kody remained quiet, his obedient exterior disintegrating as he started to assist with the case. Mary and Janelle? With fresh commercial proposals, interest in documentaries, and fan support beyond anything they had experienced in years, they were on the rise. As a last surprise, TLC released a shocking teaser trailer. Sister Wives Reclaimed is coming soon. It's their story this time. Hammer drops, the court order was delivered to Robyn on a calm Flagstaff morning. A plain package, the heartbreaking headline in bright red ink, and a knock on the door, asset freeze order, instant impact. An Arizona civil court judge's ruling halted all financial transactions associated with Robyn's LLC, including the mortgage and ownership to the now famous Flagstaff property. Once her stronghold, the mansion was now formally in legal limbo. Without a judge's approval, Robyn was not allowed to sell, refinance, or even change anything inside. Worse, a third-party forensic accountant was hired by the court to examine all financial transactions spanning the previous 7 years. As she read the letter, Kody stood in the kitchen, her face expressionless. She said, "They're going to take everything. My furnishings. My artwork. The house." Kody didn't respond. Then he simply left the room. The fire sale starts. Robyn's formerly immaculate house was transformed into a depressing demonstration of desperation in just 48 hours. Fans noticed ads on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, such as a brand new dining room table, custom ordered, seldom used. Exclusive king-size bedroom set from Wayfair, available for pickup only in Flagstaff. Beige, designer sectional couch, pet-free house. Photos of the interior of the property quickly surfaced, revealing half-empty rooms, vacant shelves, and even boxes piled close to the door. What caused the internet to crash? A video showing Robyn herself filling a contribution box with framed wedding pictures. Christine comes back with proof. Back in Utah, Christine silently, resolutely watched the consequences until a paralegal on Janelle's team reached out to her. "Christine, did you ever have access to the TLC accounts while you were in the family?" they inquired. "I assisted with them," she said. "Most of the money was transferred to the Coyote Pass Fund before we realized it was not making any progress." "How does Robyn's LLC fare? Have you ever seen any paperwork or received any payouts?" Christine squinted her eyes. Dusty but undamaged. She took out her ancient laptop. She gave Janelle a call a few hours later. "I discovered something." The emails. Christine made a huge discovery, a PDF folder containing 19 communications from 2017 to 2019 between Robyn and a TLC business liaison. Within them, Robyn asked that her LLC be redirected the direct deposit, requested that TLC refrain from telling the other wives about accounting adjustments, defended sole access to assets using the justification of family trust leadership. Even worse, according to one email, Janelle and Meri don't require access to these funds. All it will do is create friction. Kody and I both agree that I should handle this directly. Christine sent Meri's attorney the complete folder. Janelle and Meri's reaction. Meri and Janelle had a press-verified webcast the following day. A bookshelf filled with tabbed legal binders framed Janelle's determined face. What we discovered goes beyond poor management. It is deliberate dishonesty. We now have evidence that Robyn purposefully skewed the distribution of wealth to benefit herself and Kody alone, owing to Christine's input. We're not just seeking restitution anymore, Meri continued. Our goal is punitive damages. A mic drop marked the conclusion of the live stream. This is no longer a sister wives' tale. This has to do with consequences, treachery, and thievery. On camera, Kody falters later that week. A broken and unkempt Kody was seen sitting by himself on a lawn chair in the backyard by TLC's cameras. He whispered, "I thought I was building something stable. However, I let Robyn drive. I became hostile toward those who formed this family with me." He used a shaking hand to wipe his eyes. She assured me that I didn't have to be concerned, that she was in control of the papers. Family stewardship, they said. And I gave her permission. Off camera, the producer questioned, "Would you testify against her?" Kody remained quiet for a while. Then, yes. Robyn. Actually alone. Robyn sat by alone in the stark living room, surrounded by packed boxes and quiet, as the sun descended on the almost deserted estate. Her kids had gone to their quarters. The majority of Kody's time was being spent elsewhere. The once thriving house was reduced to drywall and bone, together with its proud decor, well-chosen furniture, and prestige symbols. She gazed at her phone, which had 2 missed calls from TLC executives and dozens of missed calls from lawyers. However, Kody didn't. In a private video journal, her voice broke. She said, "I was just trying to keep us together. However, I'm not sure if there is still a we at all." The announcement of Documentation, a trailer for a multi-part documentary series called, was released on TLC 2 days later. The Robyn Brown Files, The Truth Behind the Wives, the docuseries, which was narrated by a prominent figure in reality TV journalism, promised special interviews with Christine, Janelle, and Meri, experts in finance, describing how the fraud happened, emails, deposits, and unpublished confessions. Kody's personal account of his blind allegiance. Christine's eerie voiceover concludes the teaser. "Robyn used our money to build an empire. And we're seeing it fall apart now." The last photo real estate records verified that the Flagstaff mansion was put up for sale on July 31st. It is being offered for $1.35 million. But it was already worth less. There are too many headlines. There are too many secrets. And the walls were etched with too much shame. The TLC reunion that was not interpreted. The executive producer at TLC was apprehensive. Robyn Brown and Christine's face-to-face encounter was dangerous, tense, and emotionally intense. On one stipulation, however, both women consented. Unediting was required. Christine wanted the unvarnished truth to be recorded. Robyn desired one last opportunity to protect herself. The network marketed it as The Reckoning: Robyn vs. Christine, a unique sit-down show that lasted an hour and was shot in a private, neutral studio outside of Flagstaff. 2 chairs. Just 1 table. No husbands. No kids. There are no producers present. They were only betrayed for years. The tense atmosphere in the space, it was Christine who entered first. Be calm. Rooted. Sporting a face that could halt traffic and a beautiful blue cardigan. 5 minutes later, Robyn came in, clearly shaken. Her lips were quivering and her face was pallid. Sitting across from one another, the quiet was deafening. At last, Christine shattered it. "Robyn, why are we here?" Robyn blinked. "Because I want you to know that I never intended to do you any harm. Or anybody. I was simply getting by." Christine's head cocked. "Didn't you make it through that $1.3 million house just fine?" The exploring reality. Robyn let out a sigh. "You believe that money was the main factor. However, it was never that easy. I was attempting to keep Kody's eyes safe. Christine's eyebrows went up. Kody's idea? Or under your authority? Robyn's tone became piercing. You went out. You left him behind. Christine leaned closer. I refused to be gaslit, so I left. Because I witnessed you gradually removing us from our family and changing our rules. I observed the money in motion, the confidentiality, and I came to the realization that I would never again matter. Robyn's eyes filled with tears. You have no idea how it felt. Handling the money, the performance, the tension. Christine interrupted her. Robyn, you stole from us. You built your palace using TLC's funds, my effort, Mary's heartache, and Janelle's sacrifice. The moment when everything broke, then the last punch came from Christine. In 2020, you informed the TLC executive that going forward, the show should solely highlight you and Kody. I noticed the email. The rest of us are drama that distracts from the real couple, as you put it. Robyn, that isn't survival. That is sabotage. Robyn's face went pale. I never. From her folder, Christine took a printed copy of the email and placed it on the table. Robyn froze, looking down. Robyn muttered, I wanted the show to be successful. And the only people left were us. Once, Christine's voice broke. No. You ensured that you were the only one remaining. Ending the confession, the room became quiet once more. Until Robyn wiped away her tears and uttered the words that would reverberate in the hearts of her followers for months. Once it got going, I had no idea how to stop. I was afraid that if I didn't prove myself worthy, Kody would leave me. If I didn't keep him safe. Quietly, Christine got to her feet. You failed to keep him safe. He was broken by you. We were all broken by you. She started to leave, but she stopped at the door. Your children will see this one day, and they will be aware of the truth. You ought to be prepared for that. The last part, Kody and Robyn filed for formal separation 1 week after the special aired. Included in the file were a split agreement for financial assets, recognition of the irreconcilable breach of trust by the public, a provisions safeguarding his remaining stake in TLC-related profits. Robyn had no allies, no mansion, and no show. It was said that her kids had started to ask inquiries. Aurora, who is currently a college student, shared a mysterious Instagram story. You are raised to believe in an untrue picture of reality, until the truth shatters it like a piece of glass. The rise of Christine, Janelle, and Mary. Christine, Janelle, and Mary started their own production company, Reclaimed Roots Media, with the goal of sharing the unscripted, unvarnished tales of women who have survived betrayal, faith breakdowns, and reinvention as a result of their growing legal successes. They were granted complete editorial authority over a brand new series called Sister Wives, After the Fire by TLC. Its slogan? The man was lost, but discovered themselves. The last photo, the final scene of the show, shows Robyn browsing through a photo book of the good years while sitting by herself on a shabby couch in a tiny rental. The camera focuses on a single phrase that is affixed to her refrigerator as she shuts the book. The truth always surfaces. It simply needs time. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.